There you go. There you go. See, look at that. Any tripod can be a desktop tripod if you're brave enough. My first pipe in months, and I wanted to share it with you. Welcome to the Max Cooper AVL Community Garden and Massage Parlor, where I am enjoying some Beck's Old Limey Bastard in my custom rusticated hardwood Missouri Meerschaum pipe. It's good to be with you. I'm wearing my not a deer hat. You know, it's just part of my sort of my daily affirmations. You know, sometimes you just have to remind yourself, Max, at least you're not a deer. No excuses. I told myself, whatever happened this morning, hell or high water, I would come down here and smoke a pipe and talk to you guys for a bit, because it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Every video, I'm like, it won't be a long time next time. It always is. I'm not even gonna say it this time. But then I'm like, oh, it's too cold. Oh, there's like the garage is a mess, like even more than normal. Like I got spray painted blood on the back door over there, but I'm worried about the bike being in the background for this shot. Anyway, you just gotta can the excuses and do what you need to do, right? So this is what we're doing, and I gotta tell you, it's good to. What is that? What is? Hang on a second. My kid was born around Christmas, and so every year in December things flood into the house for him, and I don't know what they are, and so now I'm looking at. Hang on, 2-in-1 tomahawk toss kits. Tomahawk. What? Archery set? What? Who approved this? This is parenthood. People just give your kids shit and they don't think about the consequence. They don't think about the consequences of giving a tomahawk tossed and archery set to a 7-year-old with poor motor control. They just think about how that's going to happen, y'all. Just before you give someone's kid something, just give some thought to how it's going to go down, right? Here, little Timmy, here is your flaming chainsaw juggling kit. Merry Christmas. Like, and the parents are in the background like, well, we're insured. This year I've just decided to kind of give up on the jig is up, okay? I hate Christmas. Everybody knows it but me. I might as well admit to myself, this is my worst time of year. I'm a grumpy bastard and I never get anything done and it just pisses me off. And the one bright spot is giving my kid presents. Usually I give him presents that won't kill him, but giving him presents, and he has fun with that for about 5 minutes, and then we move on, right? And that's the then we move on to the stress and the family drama and the we don't really have family drama, but okay, yeah, we do. And mostly I'm the one that causes it, right? So I'm just gonna shut up here. We're just gonna move on to a different topic. I'm sorry about the lighting today. My ring light is down. I'm gonna have to borrow one from Martin, I guess. I haven't seen him do any of the TikTok dance competitions, but he's working hard over there. Every time I look at my YouTube feed, which is rarely, Martin is he's chasing the dream. Martin, you are an inspiration to us all, and you're going to go to Hollywood and be, you're going to be a real professional TikTok YTPCer someday, and I'm proud of you, man. Do you have Christmas traditions? We have a Christmas tradition in our house, which is that every year, right, in like the late single digits of December, when everybody's just starting to get in the spirit, my kid gets sick. And then, so like this year it was on the 7th, right? So he's still sick today. And then I will get sick, or his mom will get sick, probably about midweek. And then one of us will still be sick, or both, at Christmas, when the entire family comes to town and rents a cabin together. And so then we go to the cabin and we make everyone sick. Now, it's not COVID. You don't believe me. See, I wouldn't believe me either, right? So if I were bringing my 7-year-old, or if I were sitting in a cabin, right? I just traveled across the country to come visit my extended family Christmas, and the young couple, well, we're not really, I mean, Jess is young. I don't consider myself young anymore. The couple the barely functioning, hanging by a thread couple that like looks like they might be in danger of having their like permit to go out in public revoked, you know? So like they bring their 7-year-old in and one of them is sick and the 7-year-old's still coughing, but they're like, don't worry, it's not COVID. If it were me, I would just be like, hello, Ramada Inn. I hear you have a hot tub with like botulism in it. Can I come just soak in that for the next 10 days? Because I'd rather do that than be around this situation. So, but luckily, my extended family is more graceful than I am, and they will put up with us. And kiddo is, I think he's on the mend. Although, you know, kids always do that thing where they get sick and then they're like, they get really, like, they're better for a few days, like really better. They've got a lot of energy. And then they're like, my ear hurts. And then you take them to the doctor, and the doctor gets their little light out, and they look in their ear, right? And they're like, yeah, it looks a little red. It looks a little swollen. There's like pus and like some kind of invasive insects crawling out of the walls of the ear canal. But I don't think it's serious enough to warrant antibiotics yet. Why don't you guys go home for a few days and come back? And so you go home, and then that night the kid wakes up in the middle of the night and is like, my ear hurts. I can't sleep. And you know, so you call in the middle of the night, you're like, hey, is this nurse triage like for the pediatrician that we were just at, like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago? Can we make an appointment? And they're like, sorry, all the appointments are booked. It's Christmas. Like 2 days later, right? You've been like holding on, white knuckle grip on not going to the ER. That's your whole goal in life, is let's not go to the ER. So you finally get back in the pediatrician's office, right? And they look in there like, oh, this ear infection just came out of nowhere. And the kid's like, my ear hurts. And you're like, doc, my life hurts. Right? I can't keep up the facade anymore. I hate Christmas. And you know what? Thank you, because it feels good to finally speak my truth, right? And to finally come out with it. This is the worst time of year. Maybe I would rather be a deer. I mean, they don't have to deal with this, right? Like, their kids' ears hurt. They're just like, sorry, kid, I guess you're gonna die. Like, we're deer. We don't have doctors. No one's gonna look in your ear. Like, you're just screwed. And then they just go they go frolic, right? They're like, hey, my kid is dying of an ear infection. I'm just gonna go jump through the field over here and eat some grass and hope no one shoots me. A simpler life, really. It's just not much to worry about. That's what Christmas should be about, right? Not worrying. Well, try that with my diagnoses, right? So anyway, business is picking up, as I've mentioned in previous videos, as an excuse why I'm not making videos. I want to make videos. I want to, but I think that I have given myself a complex after 2 years of no business that, like, now that I have business, I kind of better do the business. Like you kind of better, when you haven't made any money for 2 years because there was a global pandemic and your job ceased to exist, when you start being able to make a little money, you kind of need to focus on that. And there's that, but also the Patreon thing is just sucking up. It's like when people pay you for your content, you have to actually give them the content. And that is, well, that's like my dream job. So I don't know why I'm trying to complain about this. You know what else COVID has ruined? I got my bike out, right? In the background here, you can see it right there. Yeah. And, this was back in the summer, and I was like, listen, I got my legs all fucked up. I can't walk. It's not good. It's not a good look on me. Sedentariness doesn't do well. Like, number one, I'm already me, right? Like, I don't need to be more me. And then on top of that, I can't, I've got no outlets. And so I was like, I'm gonna get my bike fixed, and I will just bike, because I can bike all day and it doesn't hurt my injury, my plantar fascia, which, by the way, I've never, like, if there is a more insignificant part of your body that can cause debilitating issues, please let me know, because I'm pretty pissed. Like, this one ligament I've never heard of in my foot has changed my whole life, and made me the hateful bag of shit that you see today. I've always been fat and incredibly lazy. Cheers to unhealthiness. But the counterpoint to that is I'm also incredibly tightly wound, and so when something needs to be done, when I do actually get off my ass, I get way off my ass, and I just can't do that now. I cannot do these long hikes that I didn't realize were the thing that was like they were just like holding my brain together, like duct tape wrapped around my head. And so it's been pretty rough. Anyway, the point of this is I got my bike out because I can bike without hurting myself further. And the problem with the bike is that the brakes don't work. And in the mountains, brakes get really important really fast. And so I call up the place where I bought that bike, and I'm like, hey, I need to get my bike fixed. And they're like, yeah, that'll be like $250, and it's going to be like 2 months out because of COVID. Everyone's getting their bikes fixed. And it's just another way in which I look at the world and filter it into a funnel called "This is all happening to me." Ooh, time for a positive segue. And so that's why I'm so glad to be talking to you and smoking a pipe. This is a bright spot in my morning. I appreciate it. Have you read any good books lately? I haven't. Maybe my videos, maybe this is just a call for help. Oh, I do need to tell you about this. Occasionally, my videos will resonate with someone out there who plays guitar, and I have the outlet that I have chosen, or has been chosen for me during these troubled times, is playing guitar, and I'm terrible at playing guitar. But I did want to report that if you play guitar terribly enough, you start to play less terribly. So that's a bright spot for anyone out there who's like maybe not feeling great. I have a lot of psychological problems, but I also have a lot of psychological stuff wrapped up in guitars because I worked in a guitar store for so long and in such a formative time in my life. And it was a terrible experience. There was definitely a time in my life when I like attached some sort of self-worth to the product of a guitar. And I think a lot of people do this with like we do it with pipes, right? And if you don't think that you've attached self-worth to some of your pipes, think about which pipes you would never sell, right? I haven't smoked in months. I'm like looking at all these pipes on the wall. I'm like, man, there's hundreds of dollars in pipes there. Should I just liquidate it all? And no, I can't do that. Some of them are I'm sentimental about them. And that is why I need to buy myself a real lighter. That is why we as human beings, and as human beings in a very consumeristic society, right? We really get emotionally and personally attached to things, and that is why I can't play guitar very well. It's because I was always attached to the guitar and not to the music, and I'm starting to break through that a little bit, I think, and I'm starting to hear better, like to hear what I'm playing a little bit better, and I'm starting to listen to other musicians better and listen to music better, and it's pretty cool. It's like, like at this point I play about as well as the guys who could play really well in high school. I had friends. I was never cool enough to hang out with them. I knew people in high school that could play pretty well, and looking back on it, they were just playing Tom Petty songs and playing pentatonic minor licks over blues riffs, and that's cool. And now I can do that, I could always do that, but now I can do that and kind of know what I'm doing a little bit better. And so I feel like I finally caught up. At 40, I finally caught up with those guys that were like 17. Everything ends up being depressing. Damn. But we soldier on, and I'm pretty sure by 41 I'm going to be like, Yngwie status guitar player. So this probably a whole nother channel rebrand, right? It'll be like Max's Shred and Guitar Workshop channel. I'm sure you guys will you'll stick around for that one, right? Like all the rebrands we've done over the years. How is the YTPC? I see things go through my feed. I never have time to watch any videos. And I keep up with, there's like a few folks that I try to keep up with. But tell me, like, what's the latest drama? Who's arguing with who about something they said about the mortise and tenon of a specific vintage year of a Castello Ciroc Briar or something like that? Let me know which tobacco companies have gone under. What is Derek Tant doing? I think is like a perennial question. You can always just, you know what? Okay, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna let like a year go by, and then I'm gonna make another one of these videos. No context. I'll have no idea what's actually happening, but I'll just be like, what is Derek Tant doing for 15 minutes? And everyone will love that video. I promise you. All right. This was fun. Thank you so much. I feel like I got something out. Like I vomited some depression onto you people. Thank you so much for being my friends holding the bowl while I vomit depression on you. I really appreciate that. Oh, Gribbs, he just had a little bit too much depression to drink, and now, just can't handle his depression. Anyway, I hope you're having a good time during this holiday season. I say that knowing that no one is having a good time. But I do sincerely hope that you're safe and well, and that your house hasn't been leveled by a tornado, and that you don't have the latest variant of the plague, and that you're doing good, enjoying your pipes. And I endeavor to be with you more. We'll let that stand without further comment. This bowl is now done. And you know what? Damn. Les Brady sent me some Tin Russians that I am super excited to try, but since I haven't smoked in so long, I felt like I needed to start out again with something I'm super familiar with. Kind of get the palate back in order. It's like you gotta get the foundations rebuilt. Because I don't want to start out with something really strong and flavorful and not be able to wrap my palate around it. That sounds, yeah. And so maybe I'll be motivated to, and leave me some comments so I got something to respond to. I think I might have figured out the whole comment issue. By the way, Gmail's been really messing with me lately too. So if you're sending me email and I'm not getting it, that's let's blame that, right? And not the fact that I really shouldn't be allowed to call myself an adult. All right, well, if you need a source for like bitterness and depression during your holiday season, you know where to find it. And thank you so much for watching. Seriously, thank you. This was fun. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.